Travel back in time with me. Imagine you're a 13-year-old tomboy and a straight-A student. Your parents are hardworking immigrants, but your mom makes time to chaperone your field trips and attend all your concerts. Total model minority, right? But what if the public image of your perfect family was a lie? What if you were too ashamed to admit the truth? You and your mother have been beaten and raped by your father for your entire life. That was my story. My name is Amita Swadhin, and I'm the founding co-director of Mirror Memoirs, a national organization uplifting the stories, healing, and leadership of some of the most vulnerable people, LGBTQI, Black, Indigenous, and of color child sexual abuse survivors. Folks tend to fixate on what I survived, but for me, what's most horrific is realizing how common my story is and watching the systems created to support survivors, like courts, prisons, police, and psychiatric institutions, punish oppressed communities with more violence. In public health terms, child sexual abuse is a global pandemic. In the US, 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be raped or sexually assaulted by age 18. And for gender nonconforming kids, those rates are up to 6 times higher. Take a breath. It's a lot to process, right? Living within this reality can especially be overwhelming for queer and trans survivors of color. Mirror Memoirs invites these survivors to share their story with someone they can trust, another queer or trans survivor of color. Like Ebony, a Black trans woman who, at 12 years old, ran away from an abusive home to the streets of Hollywood, where she earned money for food and housing through sex work. As a child, Ebony was arrested and spent years enduring extreme violence in juvenile jails. When I first met Ebony, she was afraid to share her story publicly. She didn't want people to think she's transgender because of what she survived as a child. Through our training institute, Ebony learned she was likely targeted because she is transgender. Now, she's one of our most active members, serving on our board of directors. Today, 600 queer and trans survivors of color are Mirror Memoirs members. We've supported hundreds with grants and a virtual space to break silence and isolation. Our membership has grown exponentially during COVID. Help us meet this growing demand. It costs $6,500 for one survivor to move through our leadership support pipeline. Your investment of $325,000 will support 50 BIPOC queer and trans survivors to become paid Mirror Memoirs leaders. And remember, whether or not you've survived child sexual abuse, 100% of us were raised in rape culture. 100% of us. We all have a responsibility to undo this violence and create the world we need and deserve together. Thank you.